Hi, I'm Paulk. So in the last video on optimizing the tool trailer, I reorganized this nose cabinet from being for materials to being my vacuums. And so I got it to the point where I've got the 3 vacuums in, and then that was where the video ended. So just to show you, the finalization of it, each vacuum has the parts and pieces, so the hoses and things. So this one has the hose with it, 2 hoses with it that I use this one's for my table saw, the bottom and the top. So I have a Y adapter and the 2 hoses. So they're all together in this compartment. This one is the one I use for my miter saw, so it's got a little bit larger diameter hose, a little bit longer hose. That one is here in behind. So it's has what it needs, and then the little MIDI is the one I use as kind of the floater to clean up, and also for the small hand tools, the track saw, router, those kind of things. So that one's there, and then because it's smaller and has more space, I have my extra vacuum hoses back in there because this one I'll use not only for the track saw and stuff, but to vacuum up the floors and keep the whole job cleaned up. And then I have a little vacuum, a little Milwaukee, just a battery operated 28 volt, and I use this one a lot just when I'm doing a small job somewhere, just to clean up in the area. And then I got my vacuum accessories bin there, and then a couple of extra bags, but this here is for claws, torn up t-shirts and things that I use for that. And then up top is the filters and things like that. So I pretty much have my most of my vacuum stuff here. I have more vacuums in this, and sometimes it's nice to have the 4th, because these 2 are kind of fixed in doing their job, and this one sort of floats around using the hand tools and general cleanup. So sometimes I have again a 4th one where I can leave this one kind of set up with the hand tools and have the other one to run around and clean up. Obviously I'm doing this for efficiency. When I set it up, I don't want to be unplugging a vacuum and moving it to another place. It's just inefficient, but obviously you don't have to have that many vacuums. Having one, and then having an adapter or a manifold, like I showed in another video. I made a manifold from some plumbing parts where I could hook up 3 tools to one at one time with air dams to sort of close off the tools that I wasn't using. So there are ways around having the multiples, but I have them, so I put them to use, it just makes me a little more efficient. So anyway, that's kind of where that is. And now what I want to do, the next project, it's a pretty small one, but so I have this corner back in here. So I hang my nail vest there, but I have these DustWall kits. I use DustWalls on my projects, and so I have 3 of the full-on contractor packs, a couple of the dust doors, and they all fit back. They all fit back in this corner, and no problem with the space, but they fall over. They fall forward toward my ladders here when I'm driving, and so then I have to push them back, and so I want to keep them in place. And so what I decided to do is near the bottom I want to put a piece of plywood that will attach to the trailer wall and the side of the cabinet, so that I can sort of set these in there, and it'll keep them, at least they'll fall back to that, but it'll at least keep them from coming all the way out. These were, I like them stored here a lot better. They're a lot easier to get to. I also have my ladders here, and I have a 7-foot ladder, just like one of these, that goes in here as well. And so, it's just got enough space for the 3 ladders. And so these need to, stay in that space. Prior to having these up here, I had them in one of the drawers, in the one of the long drawers. I kept all of the DustWall stuff, and they're kind of heavy, so they made the drawer a little heavier, a little harder to pull out. But also I had all of these plywood made shop jigs. I have my table saw accessories for doing angle cuts, and I have my router fence, and I have my cross cut jig for the for the track saw for the Paulk workbench. And so I got a lot of crown stops, all kind of stuff in here that I need, and I had them in different locations, and I just found they fit nice in here, and so I've got everything organized. It's easy to look in and pull out what I need. So I like that a lot better than having my dust walls in here. And again, these are much lighter, so it's a lot easier to open and close the drawer. So by clearing up, opening that drawer up for that stuff, I needed to find a place, and I actually find they're easier to get in and out. And again, I have 3 full contractor packs for the dust walls. Some jobs I only need 1, but most jobs I need more than 1. So I want to always have them with me so I have the flexibility to set up. So this will be a pretty easy project. Again, I'm gonna just measure across. I'm gonna cut me a piece of plywood that's square on one edge and it's got the angle on the other, and then I'll just screw it back to the trailer and there, put them in. So that'll be my quick project here. I'll cut it up on the table saw and show you how it turns out. I'm just gonna take a piece of 3/4 inch ply in the direction of the grain. I'm gonna cut it 16 inches wide, and then I'm going to cut it to the proper length, which is close to 19 inches on the long point of about a 47-degree angle cut. So the first thing is to cut the width to 16. Now I'll just go do a quick test fit, and if it's good, then I'll move back in there and install it. So if it's good, I'm just going to notch the bottom a little bit where there's a little angled bottom piece where the wall and the floor of the trailer come together, a little piece of aluminum. So I'll make a notch so I can go over that. Before I go back in the trailer to set this up, I had talked about the vacuums, and to do this I needed to get my vacuums out and set things back up. And so you can see my larger vacuum, I have a splitter on it, and I have a hose for the top of the table saw and the bottom, and it's plugged in, so when I turn the table saw on, that pulls the dust from the top and the bottom. So I leave that one hooked up. There's another one in the front, that's the little MIDI, which I use that for general cleanup and also for the smaller hand tools, the track saw, as well as routers and sanders and things like that. Move that one around. And then my old CT22, that one I've had the longest, and that one is dedicated to the miter saw. But what I plan on doing with that one is I'm going to get another one of the Y adapters and be able to hook that one up not only to the miter saw, but also when I'm using the router on that table, I can hook that up. I like to hook things up and leave them hooked up because I have the vacuums. It's just a little more efficient for me. But obviously, there was a time that I was working off of just the CT22, and then I also have a fine vacuum of similar quality. So I was working with just 2, and I just moved them around. And so you can certainly do it with even with one. It just slows you down a little bit. And so as time goes on, if you're doing it professionally, you'll probably want to add more than one, and just make your life cleaner and a little more efficient. Okay, so on to installing this. I can't get the big camera back in there at any kind of good angle, so hopefully the GoPro will catch this. So you can see I've pulled out the vacuums, and I've also, these are all of the third hands, the dust walls that I want to get back in there. All right, so they fit in there, and they tip a little bit out, but that'll keep them at least from falling completely out. And pretty easy for me to reach in and pull out one or more. And the only other thing I have is this is a bag of a lot of parts and pieces for different applications with the dust wall. So I'll figure out a place to put this, so it's probably hanging or somewhere back in there. So then my nail vest, back to where it goes. My ladders. For now, this will go here. And I had a hanging closet here for my rain suit, and my nail bags were here, but I decided this tall closet worked really well for my brooms and my long wands and squeegees and things like that. So I wanted to clear it up for that, and so now that's kind of emptied out. So I've hung my nail vest here for now. I can move it around if I need to. So I took a drawer and put my rain suit and my carpenter's pants with the knee pads in here. I tend to, the majority of the year, 7 to 8 months of the year, I'm in shorts and sandals. when I go to the job, so when I need to go a little heavier if it's raining, I have the gear with me to change into rather than wearing it all the time. So anyway, that's another little project done, and you got to see sort of the finish of the vacuum that I started in the last video. Showed you a little bit of how I use the vacuums, because some people were asking, you know, why do you need 3? And then finally just showed you how the dust walls fit in. And again, the purpose of this video series is to optimize my trailer and continually evolving it. And I'm probably going further than I would just for myself, but because there's such an interest in this, I want to keep refining and making these videos. Not that somebody's going to do every single thing I'm doing, but you may have a trailer and there may be 1 or 2 things that I do that at least give you an idea for something that can improve your workflow, your efficiency, your optimize, lean your work situation. So again, I'm not saying copy me and spend all the time that I'm doing. Just have a desire to be more efficient and just work slowly toward that. And I'll continue to spend more time with mine, hoping that there'll be just a few ideas that each person can sort of pick and choose from. Well, thanks for taking the time to watch. If you like these videos, be sure to like them, subscribe to the channel, share them with others, and also if you want a set of my workbench plans, click on the link right here in the video. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Have a great day.